Okay, so adding a new employee, you would come into payroll, then go on to the employees tab, hit the add. So here you can give them a number or an alphanumeric code. So you can basically just put in a person's first name, last name if you want. Mason R. Okay, department you would choose, so which department they work in. And I'm going to choose service. So what this does is picks up the defaults for certain amounts and settings from that department. Okay, choose their gender, male, female, or not specified. Date of birth. Date of birth is important for certain settings. Social insurance, you cannot leave this blank. However, you can fill it full of zeros. That must be correct before you do T4s, of course. If you've got a union and a health ID numbers, you can put those in. Preferred language, direct deposit, and if you check off direct deposit, you need to put in their banking information here. Title, this is just for reporting purposes. Tax table is very important. It's where they, with which of the provinces or territories taxes they pay. Number of periods, so you pay weekly, bi-weekly, annually, or semi-annual, or sorry, semi-monthly, and so on. You choose from that list. Hire date, you put their day they started, and if you've got a review date set for them, you can do so. Termination date can be filled in manually. However, when you use the termination button in payroll, it will fill this in automatically. Okay. Address information, where they live, obviously. Over on the side is names. Usually put their, maybe a nickname or something in here. Email address, personal email address is usually what you put here, not their company address, because this is where you would email their time cards to, and also their T4s to. The tabs at the top, you can also put in 2 other contacts, or a total of 3 contacts here. That comes from the names of these fields comes from company settings. I'll just move that over from here. I have that open already. So under company settings, employees, whatever you put in here is what those tabs will be called in the employee here. Okay, so you got room for that. Amounts. So this is the TD1 form that the employee fills out. Now in Canada, the federal TD1 claim amount is now automatic, so you can check that off. You don't have to put in an amount. If you hover above it, you'll see it use automatic federal basic personal amount calculation. What that does is it depends on how much they get paid for this period or how much it uses for the TD claim amount. So they've got a scale of that. It's not a fixed amount anymore. If you uncheck that, you can still put it in manually, but just be aware that the rules have changed for the federal number. For provincial, if you set this under details, if you set it for Nova Scotia and one of the territories, and come to amounts, you'll see that you can also check off automatic here. But the other provinces don't have that yet, but a couple of one province of the territory does have that now. So change that over to amounts. Okay, so other information does come from the TD1 form, so fill those out. If they're tax exempt, claim code E, that's unusual, but it can happen. Their opening balance of an advance, typically not when you're just creating an employee unless you're moving from another system. And same with vacation owed. If you're moving from another system, you have a chance to key this in as you create the employee. Okay, whether they have RSP, percentage, or dollar amount, uni dues, percentage of dollar amount, extra tax deductions that they've asked for, and that's on their TD1 form as well on page 2. Estimated pay and estimated expenses are for commissioned employees. So this will even out, estimated pay will even out their tax calculations throughout the year. And estimated expenses will reduce their tax calculation because they have write-offs for expenses. Okay. EI rate 1.4 is standard, but sometimes when you have a disability plan, you will be assigned a different rate. You can put that in, whether the employee is exempt for EI, CPP, or QPIP, and go back. The rate for your workers' compensation and the assessable rate, which is max per year, amount per year, and the vacation pay percentage. Okay, and then there's also retain vacation or not. So if you click on retain, it will keep the employee's vacation accrued for you to release at a later date. If you uncheck this, it'll pay them out their vacation on every paycheck. Timecard entry code, you'll see that there's 3 of them that got brought over because the department was set for those 3 codes, and they are set all as default. So the rates of regular, overtime, and premium have been set at these rates, but if this person happens to have a different rate than usual, then you can uncheck this and key in a manual rate. The nice thing about the department rates is that if you change a rate for a whole department, you don't have to change it every employee. You just change it in the department itself, and that rate will get updated. However, if they do have individual pay, you of course need to uncheck them. Automatic means that they get this added to their time card automatically as you create it. So usually their regular pay is checked as automatic, and then the other ones you add if they're used. So in this case, I'll check off automatic, and then you'll see when you enter time card, this employee will have that 40 hours at $25 added to his time card automatically. Benefits, again, this was extended medical that has a default. So it came from the department, the payroll department. In this case, we used service. Okay, got pulled in. Again, you can override it, but by default, it comes from the department. Same as deductions, employee social in this case, $5. It's using defaults, but you can override, same thing there. And then the rest of this is information for reading. So you've got your time cards that they've had already, but new employee doesn't have any, of course. Same with earnings, T4s, and the user-defined fields, and then communications for notes. And then you can set the employee as active or on leave or terminated. So this is creation of a new employee. Once you've saved and closed it, it's added them to the list, and they can be used for time cards.